Hey, my name is Tim Needles, and I am the author of Steam Power! So I'm going to share how I created the cover. So first we're going to take a look at the initial design from 2020. This is the first edition of the book. So as many of you guys know, I've been working on a book for over a year on STEAM, Science, Technology, Engineering, Art, and Math, called Steam Power. And I am very excited to finally reveal the cover of the book. Here's some of the early sketches that I did. And this is the final drawing that I did on paper, and then I brought it into Photoshop. So you can see the design I created here on the screen, and I actually used the Morphe app to create a 3D print, and that is what we use for the cover. I used the Morphe app's 2D to 3D option to turn the drawing directly into a 3D print design, and then we used an Ultimaker to actually make the print itself. And here is the final cover. Woo! Here's my book. So once the first book was done, it was time to actually change the logo, and I went from this up here, which is all white, to a full cover version that I actually spray painted. So let's take a look. So the first step is always doing a quick test print. I did a really thin 3D print and tried different color combinations with spray paint and different markers, things like that. So I learned a lot in doing the test print, and then I knew what paint to use, and I did the final print. So this is the actual cover painting. So I really had one chance to get this right because I had one master 3D print that I had used in the first edition. But it came out really good, and I actually used the background backwards in order to do the final design. The next step was actually photographing it, which is a little bit more challenging than creating it sometimes. You need to get the lighting perfect and the background elements and things like that. So this is the actual recording of adjusting some of the lighting and things like that. I actually photographed it in the library. So, this was something that, students were actually watching me do, which was kind of nice. It made it part of the process. And then the final photograph I used, and I actually was able to tweak it and play with it in Photoshop. Next came all of the other text, which I did by hand, and creating a bunch of different variations for the editor to look at in Photoshop, combining all of the elements. Finally, you actually just work with the editors, and then you have a final version that you put out, which is really exciting. So I hope you enjoyed that, and I hope you enjoy Steam Power!